The first time I watched Dances with Wolves in a theater, I remember feeling completely overwhelmed, as if the film reached into my soul and refused to let go. Like so many others, I left the cinema wanting to become a brave warrior like Dunbar, and even today, the film still haunts me in the best way. I could watch it endlessly and never get tired. What I didn't know back then was that this masterpiece would go on to win 7 Academy Awards, from Best Picture to Best Director, becoming one of Hollywood's greatest triumphs. But behind the glory were secrets almost no one dared to reveal: a set as large as an entire state, a herd of over 3,500 buffalo thundering across the plains, terrifying confrontations with the natives that almost made the crew flee in the middle of the night, and a gruesome prosthetic worn by Graham Greene that smelled so awful actors standing near him had to hold their breath as he endured blistering 100 degrees Fahrenheit heat for hours. Today, we're opening the darkest, strangest, and most fascinating backstage doors behind Dances with Wolves. One of the most unforgettable sequences, the massive buffalo hunt, was far more dangerous than audiences ever realized. The crew had just one chance each day to capture the scene, and the window lasted only 5 to 8 minutes. Kevin Costner remembers preparing for an entire week, only to have a single shot at filming. If the buffalo didn't run exactly where they needed to, everyone had to wait until the next day. 20 handlers, 24 drivers, and even helicopters were brought in to shoot from above, while one trained buffalo, Cody, became famous for charging toward the camera simply because Kevin lured him with an Oreo cookie. Weather would swing from 100 degrees Fahrenheit one day to 20 degrees Fahrenheit the next, making every take a battle against nature. Yet in those brief minutes, everything came together, producing a breathtaking moment rarely achieved even with today's special effects. But the shoot wasn't just difficult, it was dangerous. Costner revealed that the entire production nearly collapsed after a string of serious accidents. During an intense struggle scene, he cut his hand badly enough to halt filming, and medical staff warned the crew about how risky the set had become. An extra fell from a horse and was left paralyzed, and at one point even the cinematographer's daughter, who was helping on set, suffered 2 broken arms after a fall. Everyone feared the movie might be cancelled, but Costner refused to stop. His determination carried the production through its darkest days and ultimately helped turn the film into a classic. Even the smallest details weren't spared from chaos. In the emotional final scene between Dunbar and Stands with a Fist, Kevin Costner appears in only a t-shirt while the rest of the cast wears warm coats, a continuity mistake caused by sudden weather changes that forced costume swaps multiple times a day. And when filming with the wolves who played 2 socks, the crew had to howl together in the middle of the plains just to get the animals to cooperate. Kevin joked that the entire crew had to become wolves just to make those scenes possible. Finances were an even bigger challenge. When the film went over budget, studios refused to support the project further, leaving Kevin Costner no choice but to spend $3 million of his own money to keep it alive. Hollywood thought he was crazy, but his gamble paid off, earning more than $400 million worldwide and cementing the film as one of the greatest achievements in cinema history. Many moments of magic happened by accident, like when Costner's horse, Cisco, suddenly kicked open a stable door and bolted across the plains. The moment was completely unplanned, but it felt so raw and real that the crew decided to keep it in the film. Despite the risks, Costner also became the director only because every other director wanted to change the story beyond recognition, even cutting out the Civil War opening entirely. To protect the spirit of the narrative, he decided to direct it himself, a risky choice that opened a new chapter in his career. Cultural authenticity was preserved thanks to Doris Leader-Charge, a Lakota language instructor who translated the script in just 3 weeks and coached the cast on pronunciation before acting in the film herself. Still, the character of Stands with a Fist faced early criticism for being one-dimensional, but Mary McDonnell's powerful performance earned her an Oscar nomination and gave the story emotional depth. The film also faced white savior criticism, though Costner insisted the movie was about respect and cultural connection, not rescue. The Lakota Sioux honored Costner with a ceremonial initiation afterward, though their relationship later became strained when he planned to build a resort on sacred land, a project he eventually abandoned. Many quirky details also added life to the film, like Graham Greene putting slices of bologna in his shoes to walk like an aging chief, a method that helped earn him an Oscar nomination. Dances with Wolves even revived Orion Pictures financially, giving the struggling studio one last victory before it eventually collapsed. And long before the movie became a global phenomenon, the novel itself was rejected more than 30 times before finally being published. Through authentic costumes made from real hides and traditional materials, dedication from the Lakota community, and endless battles behind the camera, Dances with Wolves became far more than a film. It became a piece of cinematic history. And knowing everything the cast and crew endured only makes the masterpiece even more awe-inspiring.